We are going to talk about a very serious and very deep problem happening inside the American government. It is a story that involves power, secrets, and a total lack of respect for the people who do the hard work. We often hear from the news that the Republican Party is a big, strong family that works together like a well-oiled machine. They want you to believe they are united and ready to lead. But today, we are seeing the mask fall off. The truth is that there is a huge, messy fight going on behind the scenes, and it is getting worse every single hour. At the very center of this fight is a man named Mike Johnson. He is the Speaker of the House, which is one of the most powerful jobs in the whole country. But even though his party controls the House of Representatives, the Senate, and even the White House, they are failing to get anything done for the regular person. And the people who are the most angry about this failure are the women in his own party. The women in the Republican Party are starting to shout, and they are saying something very clear: we do not want him here. They are tired, they are frustrated, and they are feeling pushed aside by a leadership that looks like it belongs in the past century. Mike Johnson is in a state of absolute panic because he knows he cannot lead if his own people do not trust him. This is not just a small disagreement over a single law. This is an explosion of anger that has been building up for a long time. It is a sign of a party that is breaking apart from the inside because the men at the top refuse to listen to anyone else. To understand why this is happening, we have to look at how Mike Johnson treats the people around him. Several high-ranking women in Congress have come forward to say that Johnson is actively undermining them. Now, what does that mean? It means he is working against them in secret. He is taking away their power, blocking their ideas, and making it impossible for them to do the jobs they were elected to do. It has become so bad, so toxic, that some of these women are simply giving up. They are choosing to retire and leave the government entirely because they feel there is no future for them under a man like Mike Johnson. Think about how sad that is. When a leader is so bad that his own team members would rather quit their careers than work with him, you know there is a deep, dark problem in that office. Let's talk about Marjorie Taylor Greene. Now, she is someone who usually supports the most extreme Republican plans, but even she is reaching her breaking point with Mike Johnson. She is frustrated because the party promised to help the American people with the cost of living. During the campaign, they made a lot of big, flashy promises. They promised to make life more affordable for you. They promised to help with the cost of groceries, the cost of gas, and the cost of medicine. But now that they have all the power in Washington, what are they doing? They are doing absolutely nothing. Mike Johnson is not bringing these bills to the floor to be voted on. He is stalling. He is playing political games to protect his own job instead of helping the families who are struggling. Marjorie Taylor Greene is pointing the finger directly at him, saying that he is failing the very people who believed in them. She sees that the day one promises were just empty words used to get votes. Then we have Elise Stefanik. She is one of the top leaders in the party and was a very strong supporter of the Trump movement. She is supposed to be on Mike Johnson's team, working right beside him. But she just gave a very shocking interview to a big newspaper called the Wall Street Journal. She did not hold back. She attacked his political acumen, which is a fancy way of saying she thinks he is not smart enough or experienced enough for the job. She called him a bad strategist. She said he does not know how to win or how to plan for the future of the country. And then she said the most dangerous thing of all. She said that if there was a vote for Speaker of the House right now, she does not think Mike Johnson would win. Imagine that. His own leadership partner is telling the whole world that he does not have the support he needs to stay in power. It is a total vote of no confidence from the people who know him best. Another woman who is very angry is Anna Paulina Luna. Her story is a perfect example of why Mike Johnson is losing everyone's trust. She has been fighting for a very important law that would stop members of Congress from trading stocks on the stock market. This is something that almost every regular American agrees with, whether they are a Democrat or a Republican. Why should a politician be allowed to buy and sell stocks when they are the ones making the laws that affect the value of those stocks? It feels like cheating, doesn't it? It feels like they are getting rich while the rest of us play by different rules. Well, Anna Paulina Luna says that Mike Johnson promised her, behind closed doors, that he would let this bill be voted on. He looked her in the eye and gave his word as a leader. But then, as soon as the doors opened, he changed his mind. He has been dragging his feet, making excuses, and protecting the rich politicians who want to keep making money on the side. Anna Paulina Luna feels betrayed. She feels that a man's word should mean something, but with Mike Johnson, a promise is just a lie he uses to make people be quiet for a little while. And then, there was a moment that really showed how Mike Johnson truly thinks about women and their place in society. He was on a podcast with a lady named Katie Miller. Her husband is Stephen Miller, who is one of the most powerful and controversial helpers to Donald Trump. It was a relaxed interview, and Johnson's wife, Kelly, was sitting right there too. During the talk, Mike Johnson made a joke about another congresswoman named Lisa McClain. Now, Lisa McClain is the president of the Republican caucus. She is the only woman in a high leadership position in the whole party. And what did the Speaker of the House say about her? He said he wanted her to go and cook the Thanksgiving dinner for him. Now, I want you to think about that for a moment. This is a woman who was elected by thousands of people to help lead the United States of America. She is a professional, she is a leader, and she is his colleague. But to Mike Johnson, her greatest value is in the kitchen. He sees her as someone who should be making him a meal instead of someone who should be making the laws of the land. This made many women in the party extremely angry. It felt like a slap in the face to every woman who has ever worked hard to be respected in a man's world. It told them that no matter how hard they work or how high they rise, the men at the top, like Mike Johnson, will always see them as lesser. This is the kind of old-fashioned, sexist thinking that is driving people away. It is disrespectful, and it shows that he does not view women as his equals. For a very long time, the Republican Party has ignored the needs and the voices of women. They always used to say, "We don't care if you are a man or a woman, we just want the best person for the job." But we can see now that was always a lie. The truth is that they did not want to help women get into power. They did not want to provide the money or the support that women need to run for office, especially women who have families and young children to take care of. While the Democrats were working hard to elect more women and diversify their party, the Republicans were falling further and further behind, stuck in the past. A few years ago, people like Elise Stefanik tried to change this. They realized that if they did not have women candidates, they would keep losing elections. They recruited more women, and those women actually won important seats that helped the party take control of Congress. But now that those women are finally in Washington, they are being treated like they do not matter. They are being told to stay in the kitchen and keep quiet while the men make all the big decisions in the back rooms. This is why we are seeing this explosion of frustration. These women worked very hard to get where they are, and they are not going to let a man like Mike Johnson ignore them or treat them like servants anymore. How is Mike Johnson reacting to all this trouble? Well, he is doing what he always does. He is complaining and acting like the victim. People close to him say he is very frustrated behind the scenes. He is upset that the newspapers and the reporters are writing about his failures. He recently told the press that he is not marginalizing women and that he treats everyone the same. But we know that words are cheap when your actions show something else. We haven't seen him take a single real step to fix the problem. He has not promoted more women to leadership roles. He has not apologized for his sexist jokes. He has not brought the bills that women and families care about to a vote. He is just talking and talking while the building is burning down around him. The reality is that Mike Johnson is in a very, very weak position. His party only has a tiny, tiny lead in the House of Representatives. That means every single vote is like gold. If just a few people decide they don't like his leadership, he loses his power instantly. He already has enemies like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Thomas Massey, who vote against almost everything he tries to do. He cannot afford to make more enemies, especially among the women who have been the reason for the party's recent wins. He is walking on a thin wire, and the wind is starting to blow very hard. The only reason Mike Johnson feels any safety right now is because he has the support of Donald Trump. Trump called their recent tax bill a great and beautiful bill. But we have to look at the facts of what was actually in that bill. It gave huge tax cuts to the super wealthy and to the biggest corporations in the world. But do you know what else it did? It included deep cuts to Medicaid. Medicaid is the very program that helps poor families, children, and the elderly pay for their doctor visits and their medicine. So, while the rich people got even richer, the most vulnerable people in our country, the ones who really need help, are the ones who are going to suffer. This is the great work that Mike Johnson is so proud of. It is a plan that helps the powerful and hurts the weak. But even with Trump's support, Mike Johnson knows he is on thin ice. He knows that every vote counts and that his time might be running out. He is desperate to keep his power, but he is doing it by stepping on the very people who helped him get to the top. The women of the Republican Party are finally waking up to the fact that they are being used as props. They are seeing that the men at the top do not respect them and do not care about the issues that affect regular American families. They see that the promises of affordability and freedom were just slogans on a poster, not real plans for the country. This story matters to all of us because it shows the true face of the people running the government right now. It is a face of sexism, broken promises, and total internal chaos. While they tell us they are fighting for the soul of America, they are actually just fighting each other for bigger offices and better titles. They are too busy arguing about who should be cooking the Thanksgiving dinner to worry about the millions of Americans who cannot even afford to buy a turkey this year because the prices are so high. We need to keep watching this story very closely. The pressure on Mike Johnson is growing every single day, and it is coming from inside his own house. As more women speak out and more people realize that this government is not working for them, the cracks in the party will only get wider and deeper. We deserve leaders who respect every citizen, regardless of their gender or their bank account. We deserve a government that keeps its promises, follows through on its word, and works for the people, not just for the wealthy boys club at the top. Thank you for staying with me for this very important report. I know it is a lot of information, but the truth is, the only way we can make our country better. We will keep bringing you the facts that the mainstream media tries to hide, and we will keep exposing the hypocrisy of those who think they are untouchable. Please take care of yourselves and your neighbors. Knowledge is the greatest power we have, and together, we can hold these leaders accountable for the future of our great nation. We are seeing a new chapter of American history being written, and it is a chapter where the voices of the ignored are finally starting to be heard. In the coming weeks, we will see if Mike Johnson can survive this revolt. Will he change his ways and start respecting the women in his party? Or will he continue to hide behind Donald Trump and hope the problem goes away? Based on what we have seen so far, it does not look good for him. When you lose the respect of your own team, you have already lost the battle. We will be here to cover every step of the way, making sure the truth is told in a way that everyone can understand. Because at the end of the day, the government belongs to you, the people, and it is time it started acting like it. Narrator pauses for effect. As we look at the empty promises of this administration, we must ask ourselves, is this the leadership we were promised? Is this the golden age they talked about? For the women in Congress and for the families at home, the answer seems to be a loud and clear no. We will stay on top of this story and bring you any new updates as soon as they break. Thank you for watching, and remember to stay informed and stay active in your community. Together, we can make a difference.